Hello, hello. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Horror Flick Chicks podcast. It's Sonia and Sandra here with you today. As you can see, we are missing our partner in crime today, but that's okay. She's always here with us in spirit when she's not physically here. So we're doing this like we always do. We're recapping the last episode of the current season of The Last of Us. So we are on season 2, episode 4. And this episode is called Day One. All right. So we're going to get right into it.
Yep.
This was an action-packed episode. And
Action packed.
oh, yeah. And we see in the beginning, we did see a glimpse last week of this character, but we see a little background on him now. So Isaac is this new character that we're highlighting here a little. And we see him, Isaac, back in the day. He's like the lieutenant or captain of the
Kendra.
Fedra police force type people, and they're in this tank,
A truck. They're in like an armored truck.
like a military armored truck type
Yeah.
thing, and to patrol or to go look. I don't know what they're doing, but they're in this truck um driving down, and there's all these soldiers in there talking and kind of not telling jokes, but kind of like just telling about stories about things that happen,
Passing time, kind
and
of.
and it's kind of disturbing the things they're talking about. Like
Yeah.
it's not very it's very not it's not a good humored stories. It's very kind of vile. I mean, talking about loss of
And it
life,
and
and
it's real stories.
it's real stories, but they're kind of making light of it, like especially the one soldier who's actually telling these stories, and everyone
Yeah.
else is kind of laughing and things like that. Anyway, they pan over to Isaac, who's played by the great Jeffrey Wright, and he is, he's the main head honcho there, and trying to make sure everyone is ready for, I guess, some mission or something that they're going to do. They're stopped in the middle of the road, and you see a bunch of people coming out of the woodworks. We know these are the wolves,
Yeah.
and then we start to see how, well, Isaac has one of the soldiers come out of the truck with him, and they're confronting these wolves.
Well,
And
they were all the soldiers were ready to go out, like
oh yes, they were, but he told them to
and
step
Isaac
back,
said, "No, I'm going alone."
and he brought one of the soldiers out with him as like a backup, I guess.
Yeah.
And he brings him out to confront them, and we see Isaac. We quickly find out that Isaac is on their side.
Yeah.
He is turning his back on Fedra, and so much so that he throws two grenades into the truck and blows it up with all those soldiers in it.
Yeah.
And basically tells the soldier that he brought out with him, are you with us or not?
Yeah, you gotta make your choice.
Right. So they're there. So now we see this is how Isaac started his
Introduction.
introduction, or his kind of reign with the wolves, because now he is the head of the wolves. And in this current time, this was a flashback
Yeah.
of him. And so we see that, and then fast forward, we see Isaac again, and he is torturing one of the scars, the Seraphites. So these are the people that in the last episode we saw walking down the road with the scars
Yeah.
inside of their faces, and with the whistle signals, those
Yeah.
that group that was
Some kind
in
of
the last episodes.
religious group.
Yeah, they kind of pray to this entity. And anyway, Isaac is torturing this Scar. And
Yeah.
he's really kind of doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
He's talking to them. He's really kind of psychotic,
Yeah.
I think.
He's very what my first thought was he's very Negan like.
Yeah, yeah. he's smart, but he's psychotic. Although I think Negan was more, I don't know. I think he did it more because for the fun of it because he liked doing things. I think part of it is that he
Yeah,
liked doing it, but Isaac is trying to get some information. Like he's doing this for a purpose,
yeah.
and he's trying to see when the next
Where
wave
they're going
of
next?
next wave of attack is going to happen, and he's torturing this guy like burning a pan and putting it and burning his skin and the scar is so dedicated and he does not want to give up.
He's not giving up
He's
any
not trying to, he
anything.
doesn't care and he's putting out limbs so he can get burned and
Yeah.
that's
So much, yeah, so much that after a while he says, "I'm gonna ask you again, or I'm gonna keep burning you. I'm gonna burn every part of your body until you tell me." And he sticks out his other hand, said, like he's not gonna say anything, and then he just ends up shooting him because he's like,
yeah,
"I'm not gonna get
I'm
anywhere
not
with this
getting
guy."
anywhere with this guy, right?
Yeah,
So that happens and oh yeah, so we see how Isaac's mind works here and we
yeah,
see how I see how this is going to be for the rest of the season,
yeah,
the episodes that he'll be in. And I'm sure at some point we'll see his how his relationship is with Abby.
yes,
I'm sure they'll show that at some point. I don't know if they may do another flashback type thing where they show him back in whatever 10 years ago and meeting Abby and the rest of the crew
right.
and that we
It's
know and have
possible.
seen now. And then we see how they interact and how they are now in the present world. Did Abby come back to him, to where he is? She may be there with him. We don't know. We
Right.
haven't seen it. So I'm sure that they'll show that. But then we see a lot of Ellie and Dina in this episode.
Yeah.
They are still out, went to
Searching.
Seattle looking
Yeah.
for Abby and the rest of the wolves
That who killed Joel.
who yes, who killed our souls. And yeah, so they're still out there and they're looking around, they're scavenging also because they need things to, they need to survive and get through this time out there on their own.
Yeah.
And they figure out they seem to have figured out where they are, where the wolves are, but they're taking their time to
Yeah.
get
They
they
can't,
don't want
it's
to
daytime. It's daytime. They're kind of out in the open. So they don't want
they're
Dino,
trying
like,
to
we can't
they want to
do this
surprise
now.
them.
We're like, they're gonna see us coming a mile away. We have to
Right.
wait,
Keep a low
wait till night,
profile.
wait till night, scope it out a little more, and kind of, try and get in with a sneak attack.
Right. But they end up going into they're in this town, I guess, or city. There's a bunch of abandoned, stores
Yeah,
and things. And so they find a place to kind of keep the horse. And it doesn't seem to be any clickers or creatures around because
yeah,
they did find a tank and made noise opening the tank and nothing
right.
popped out. So it doesn't seem to be any of these things around. So I feel like they feel they're a little safe at this point.
Yeah,
They find a place to kind of hold up and they end up going to this I don't know what it is, some kind of room, a compound kind of place, and they start to see kind of the dead bodies of soldiers.
yeah.
They're strung
Once
up.
they kind of scope out where they see that the wolves might be like stationed, or some wolves might be stationed, they start, trying to see how to get into the building where they
Yeah, they're
might be.
scoping out the
Yeah.
area.
And they're finding a bunch of stuff. They find a bunch of soldiers hanging with their intestines hanging out. And they're just like, oh, like what happened here, and
Yeah,
it's
just trying to figure out what happened, and they're moving around in that space, and they hear someone coming. or something's coming,
Yes.
and they have to hide. And that was really a tense moment. Because
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know how it was a big kind of warehousey looking
Yeah, it was a big space
space.
with a lot of
So like
like big
crates and
like
containers and things that they can kind of
places to
hide
hide, but
around, but it was and it was pretty dark, but still,
it was
there's not really
quiet
any places
and
to run
any little
away,
yeah, it was quiet and like any little noise could have like got
giving
them
them
caught
away.
and they were like super stealth with it.
They were really,
I was very impressed because I would have died as soon as they walked into that room, I think.
I wouldn't even know how to get out
Yeah.
of there. But they found a way and they get out and they, they make their way through that kind of building. Some of the soldiers, or one of the soldiers finds Ellie, and then there's a tussle, and a
She
few
handled
of them,
herself really good with that guy.
yeah, she does, and a few of them are lose their lives, and Ellie and Dina escape through a window and going through another room, and they're running down the street. They find another building. They make their way through. It's blocked by brick and concrete. It looks like there may have been an explosion there at some point,
Yeah.
but they find kind of a little space and they shimmy their way through into another kind of it's a some
It
kind of building with a lot of space, another kind of warehousey type place, I guess. But then that's where we hear the creatures and
well they end up in like a tunnel, like a subway.
yeah, right. And that's where we start to hear the creatures come out, and there's a lot of them.
It's I don't know.
This is another place where I can't believe they got out of this.
Yeah.
They got out of it, and but by the skin of the teeth,
Yeah.
really.
They got into one of the train cars. They were running through the train cars. Meanwhile, they were all on the outside banging on the car, busting through the windows to get in. It was like it was all closing in on them.
Yeah.
Like it was nuts.
You have to be super fast and real kind of agile to get through those
Yeah.
spaces in that short amount of time. And
Yeah.
I'm sure they were scared too, so that you have to factor all that stuff in.
Yeah.
But so it was real suspenseful and thrilling and stuff. Really good to watch. And then they
That
get
was
out of
interesting.
this train car, still being chased,
Go
um,
up the stairs to like get out of
trying to get out of the tunnel. And
the
there's
tunnel.
one of
Yeah.
those kind of turnstile,
But,
the standing turnstile
yeah.
type exits. That is there was something sticking to it, and they couldn't get through easily. And they were getting stuck, and Dina was getting stuck, and the creatures were on her back pretty much.
Yeah.
And Ellie sticks out, and they're
One of
shooting
them
and
got to the one
they're
of them
shooting
got
and
to the
shooting. Yeah,
yeah, one of
they're
them got
shooting.
to the revolving, you know, the turnstile while Dina was kind of stuck in between it. And right to get her, and Ellie, without even no hesitation, sticks her arm out and lets the thing bite her.
Right, and you can
And then
see
she
in
was
Dina's
able to pull
face.
her in.
You can see Dina's face, the shock,
Yes.
and they end up getting out of that situation and finding another place to hold up. And Dina's scared shitless, and she
Yeah.
is holds a gun to her head, and she's gonna kill her.
Right.
And she's telling, kind of saying, "Why did you do that?" And Ellie has to tell her that she's immune. And of course, she doesn't believe her. And she's telling her, anybody else, she would have just shot them.
Yeah.
I feel like she's lucky that it was Ellie. Like Ellie's lucky it was her, that Dina that
Mhm.
was there, that she's so, in like, I don't want to say in love,
Well, she cares for
but
her.
she cared for her a lot.
Yeah.
So she's lucky it was her and not just some other person. They would have shot her
Yeah.
with no question. So that saved her a lot, but she found a way to get her to not not to shoot her, Not
Yeah.
so fast. Hold up. I'm immune. I'm gonna go over there. You could hold the gun to me, but I'm gonna go over there, sit in that chair, go to sleep. When I wake up, I'm gonna be the same Ellie, and you'll see that I didn't change. Nothing's gonna happen. And that's what happened. And so now she knows she's immune, and she's, you know, I think relieved, but
Yeah.
still freaked out about
It
it
was a lot.
because it's scary.
After that whole thing they went through and then that, I mean, it's a lot.
So it's scary.
Yeah.
So, we go through that, and of course, it brings them closer together, and their relationship gets stronger. And we see there's a very intimate moment with them,
Yeah.
and then we find out, which surprising to me. I mean, obviously, I don't know anything about this. We talked about this before, and we'll say this again. We're not gamers. We don't play the game, so we don't know what happens. We're just watching this like it's a regular show.
Right.
And so we're watching it, and then we see Dina telling Ellie that she's pregnant.
Yeah. I knew that from the beginning.
Oh, why?
Because when they were in the beginning of the episode, when they were at a farm, they were in like a
Yeah,
pharmacy
they were
looking
at
at
pharmacy.
medications, and then she was looking at stuff, and you could see that she found something. They didn't show what it was.
Yes,
And right after
yeah.
that, she said, "I have to pee real quick," and I said, "Oh,
Oh, I didn't see
she
it.
probably found a pregnancy test, and she's
Okay, I didn't
because
see it.
remember because I remembered also that." I mean, what it doesn't, I guess it doesn't matter if she mentioned it at all or not, but she was with Jesse before. 'Cause they were
Yes, I
dating
know.
for a while.
I know.
So we knew she was with somebody, with a guy at some point. And when she said that, I knew what she found was a pregnancy test. And she said she's gonna pee because she was gonna take the test because she thought she was. And even though it could have been because of some gross stuff she saw in the last episode, she was throwing up, and she did it again this episode when she saw those hanging bodies with the guts hanging out.
Yeah, so that's why when she announced it, I do remember that when we were watching that they were at the pharmacy, and she was looking around, and there was a point where she was looking at something and they didn't show it.
Yeah,
And then we're watching the show, Dave and Alex, and we're watching the show, and then Alex, and then Dave goes, you know, that she's probably saw like a dead body or something. And I was like, no, I said, because if she saw a dead body, they would have showed it. They showed dead bodies all over this show. They would have
right.
showed it. I don't think it's something else that she saw. And Alex, same thing. So yeah, I think it was something else. So we were saying that. I forgot about that though. But after she did announce her pregnancy, I did say, "Oh, that's why she was throwing up." Although it's kind of gross, and you would normally
Right. No,
you throw
no.
up because
It's very
and I was like, that's
possible that
probably
it,
why she did, because she's pretty tough, and I think
right,
she's seen a lot of things
right.
in
She
her
even
time
said that.
there.
She even,
So I think that something like that wouldn't bother her so much.
right.
But then
She
I
even
was
said
like,
that,
oh,
she
okay, that
even
makes
said that
sense now.
afterwards to Ellie, like she's seen some pretty
Yeah. So
bad
I was like,
stuff
oh,
and
that makes sense now.
but
So
I know about morning sickness and
yeah.
and then I was and on top of that I was late, so
Yeah. And then
I
she
saw that
goes,
when I saw the test I took it and she took like five of them. She's like, because she showed Ellie and she was like, this is pretty old. And she said, well, this one's the same and these
yeah.
all these two. She took like five or six of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
So
So
so that's something new. I don't know. I never understand in these apocalyptic shows and movies how these I mean, I guess I know how, but why you would
right.
I mean, and I guess it could be like they're not trying to, right? But I don't know.
Yeah. No,
Sometimes
I
it's
know.
hard to like avoid, I
Yeah.
suppose. But I get like, damn, that's like the raw end of the stick, because I don't want that to be me. But
Yeah.
anyway. It happened. So we'll see. I don't know if they're going to progress the season,
Right.
maybe, and show her maybe towards the end of her pregnancy or something. Like they may do that.
Right.
I don't know what they're gonna do with the rest of the season where that's concerned. But we know this new information, and we'll see how that works out. She
Mhm.
still wants to go on and help Ellie
Right.
find the wolves. So we'll see how that works. She doesn't want to be taken out of the mix just because has
Right.
this new news that she
She still
shared.
wants to help. She still wants to be a part of, you know, the whole thing. So
Yeah, so we'll see how that ends up with them. I mean, Ellie seems to also be very, I don't want to say excited, but she seems to be very okay with wanting to be her partner and help her through
And have
this,
a family.
and even being, yeah, for them with the baby to be a family. So
Right. She said it's so funny because I found it not strange, but I found I guess a little strange and funny that they were talking like they're gonna be parents, they're gonna have a baby. And I was like, wait, what about this before she because Ellie at some point said, um, they said something about Jesse and she said it is Jesse's, right? Like because
yeah.
and but I was thinking even before she said that, I was thinking, so what about Jesse? Like this is his kid.
What do
Have
you think he's gonna say about this?
because even Ellie and then Ellie said, I'm gonna be
Your
a
dad,
father or a
a
dad.
father,
I was like,
whatever. I know. Yeah, I know.
I mean, it was a little strange, but it was funny too.
Yeah.
But Ellie,
And it was sweet. Yeah.
she really hasn't had anybody, and then the person that cared about her the most
It's gone.
gone, and
Mhm.
so now hopefully I don't know
I have a bad
I like
feeling
yes
about,
that's what I'm gonna say. I have a bad feeling something's gonna happen because now that they're close, they've gotten closer, and they both express their feelings for each other, like for real, that as the season
yeah.
progresses, anything might not, something might not happen in this season, it could go on to the next one,
Yeah.
if. But at some point, I feel that something's gonna happen that is gonna break them apart, whether it's, Dina finds something out about her and Joel, or she dies, or so I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be something like
There's
dramatic
something,
like that.
yeah.
So I don't
I
know.
feel it. I feel it too, but we'll see. We're gonna like all these episodes. We gotta wait and see what happens next.
Yeah, we'll keep watching. I mean, this was definitely a fun episode. A lot of action. That those scenes with the chase scenes with the creatures and stuff took a while.
Yeah,
It took a while. It was really cool.
it was intense.
It was intense, really cool to see. Really cool how they did everything, how they worked around the space that they had in
Yeah,
the scene. And all of them, the creatures, Ellie, Dina, all of them. And yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I'm happy that they're getting more into showing us the creatures, and because
yeah.
there's also different creatures in this world. It's not just the clickers and the bloaters, I think they're called, the bigger ones.
Oh,
Um,
um, yeah.
so I think there are some more different ones. So we'll see how, if they show anything different. And exciting. Looking forward to the next episode, of course, as always.
Mm-hmm.
And we, next episode should be fun too.
Yeah.
And
It's going good. I wasn't sure how it was gonna be after episode two.
after Joel, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, they obviously, everybody loved Joel, but besides him, the show has really strong characters.
yeah.
Not just Ellie,
I figured that they were going to show a lot of Ellie out looking for Abby, so they
yeah,
they would show that a lot, and whether it's Dina with her or maybe some other people from the town, maybe Tommy. I don't know. At some point,
right.
I would think that they would go back home or show the compound where they're at, and maybe send some others out to help or something.
To
I don't know what's
help
gonna
them
happen,
or
but
yeah. Mhm.
I don't know what's gonna happen. But also good to see the relationship between Isaac and Abby once they show that,
Yeah.
because apparently from a gamer that I know, it's you do start to feel bad for Abby
Mm.
because she's not a bad person. She was just avenging her father's death.
Right,
It's not
right,
because she didn't like Joel. Joel killed,
right, right.
but he killed one person that she loved, I guess, the most, and that was there to help.
She went after Joel the same way Ellie's going after Abby. It's
And the
for,
same
yeah,
way, you know, Joel went after the father and
right,
the rest
right,
of the hospital
right,
staff
right.
because they
To
took Ellie.
protect
So
her,
it's the
right.
same thing, but I do, yeah, to my understanding, we start to feel a little sympathy for Abby, and when it gets to the point where Abby and Ellie confront each other, it's kind of a hard, as a viewer, it may be a hard decision to know who to root for.
Right.
So we'll see what
Interesting.
happens when we get to that point because I already know who I'm rooting for right now. So
Yeah.
when we get there, we'll see. A few episodes in, they may change my mind, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see.
And until then, we're gonna sign off for today. But make sure you keep checking out our YouTube channel here, the Horror Flick Chicks YouTube channel. This is where we have our podcast episodes, our video episodes here. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and you'll know every time we have a new video pop in. We also have our podcast on several audio platforms. So check us out. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can find us, I'm sure.
Find us.
The
Yep.
Horror Flick Chicks podcast. Just look it up. And also make sure that you're following us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. And subscribe to our channel, like our videos, send us a DM, talk to us. If there's something that we missed in these
Yeah.
episodes, in these recaps here, let us know.
I'm sure there's stuff that we don't really elaborate on.
Or
And
maybe
if,
there's some things that we didn't recognize or realize,
yeah,
and you may want to point it out to us. Tell us,
right.
because again,
Especially since we didn't play the game.
we don't know about the game. So to the extent of the details that they show
Yeah.
in this series, because apparently they do, like, when they went to the pharmacy and they had I think it was Mason's pharmacy, that was in the game. Like, all these details are in the
Okay.
game, which is cool.
Yeah.
If we play the game, we would know and see. But
Yeah.
it's cool that the gamers are pointing it out. Like, there are
Right.
things that a lot of things from the game in the show, so that's cool. But definitely things we don't know. Maybe there's little things that we miss, but let us
Right.
know. It'll be cool for us to find out and get up to speed with those type of things. But again, social media guys, check us out, follow us, and we'll be back next week recapping the next episode. And we're only in the middle of the season, so we
Mm-hmm.
still have a lot
We
more to
have a lot to
go,
go.
and I'm sure a lot more is going to happen. So we'll looking forward to it. Can't wait.
We're here to recap it all.
Yeah, and thanks so much for following us and watching our videos. We love that you're here, and we love making these videos for you. So until next time, we're signing out. Sonia and Sandra, peace, love, and horror.
Bye.
Bye.
That's the end.